This is the worst class in Diablo 2. At least according to the charts. The Necromancer has been the slowest class to reach level 99 nearly every ladder season. So in Season 10, I tried to change that. But little did I know, the biggest Diablo bully would be there to try and bully me. It was time to unleash life-altering levels of degeneracy and make the Necro great again by any means necessary. The goal was to race all other classes to level 99. In order to be statistically significant, I would have to beat at least 2 of them to the top. This would show that my work on this Necro did something that hadn't been done in 8 seasons. But if I'm gonna play on the slowest class, I ain't playing by anyone's rules. Except Blizzard's, I guess. Like, I'm not trying to get banned. But other than that, rules. In the off-season, I built a savage poison necro. It was faster than my Hammerdin at clearing the toughest areas of the game. And since the Paladin usually finishes somewhere in the middle of the rankings, I knew the necro had potential. Poison Nova might not look as impressive compared to other classes, but technically, this skill is the best AoE damage a necro can deliver, without relying on corpses anyway. The plan was to rip as much resistance away from monsters as we possibly could. In testing, this build was bonkers. There were some problematic zones where monsters were naturally poison immune, but with Sunder Charms and some high-level tricks, that wasn't much of a problem either. Our Mercenary was designed to help with those situations. While his Conviction Aura from Infinity doesn't help with our poison damage, it does lower a monster's fire resistance, and there just so happens to be a pretty devastating fire skill in the Necro repertoire. Corpse Explosion does fire and physical damage. If you really want to play like a pro, you can change curses and cast Amplify damage whenever you use it. Additionally, Amp, comboed with the Merc's Thorns aura, helps with hyper-aggro monsters. With an Insight Golem, mana is never really an issue, and my endgame setup ensured that we can compete in any terror zone against any class. Except like a Mosaic Sin. Or a Sorceress. Zon is probably faster too. Look, the point is we could probably not be last. I still needed a playthrough team on day 1, so I pulled my first dirty trick of this challenge. Mom's pumpkin whoopie pies. This is how I bribe my friends to help with these degenerate challenges. And these are my friends. At least until I run out of whoopie pies. Maddie is statistically the best support barb in the world. Joby tried to make stealth in one of these. But at least he chose a sorceress and could teleport for us. So on the first night, we all played through on shared accounts and loaded some filler accounts to drag along with us. One of which was the Necro I planned on leveling. Having access to Maddie's Bowbarb and Joby's Telesork, I could practically be my own bail party, and that worked out pretty well. On the first night, I was able to get my Necro to level 78. Not bad for a day 1 tag-along. But on day 2, things would really start to ramp up. After joining a friend's bail runs to create less work for myself, I noticed someone else in the game. MrLlama was there, and he had chosen the same class as me. In case you don't know about this guy, he's the most popular D2 streamer in the world. He holds a number of speedrun world records for the game, but most impressively, he may be the most famous Diablo rapper in the world.
Time to let out my battle cry. I don't find the time to grind to level 99. Support the party Blizzard Wizard and that summon god. I stand to tank the flank of dolls, but when I try to fight...
Seems like more people have heard this club banger in recent history than have heard the Deckard Cain rap, which is actually in the game files. But MrLlama is also a bully. The last time we both built a Necro, this guy trained for 2 weeks with Toshank, the top PvP player, just to come embarrass me in the Bloodmoor live.
What? I was up spearing.
You gotta delete your Twitch. Start over as Fortnite streamer or something.
With all my eggs in the PvP streamer basket, this obviously ruined my career. I stand before you a dilapidated version of my former self. Who the fuck wrote this? And how'd you know I'd be standing? I guess the truth kinda hurts. So, I'm selling all of my ladder gear on the Crimson Market. I'm not even kidding. I've listed every item you'll see on my ladder grind for an ignorant price, like this one that I'm trading for an L rune, or this godly weapon that I took to the very end. I'm gonna be asking a Ral rune for that one. How about this beauty, you ask? Well, gonna need a lem. These are the guys that revolutionized Diablo 2 trading. Now, we can just screenshot an item and paste it into this trading site. The Crimson Market reads the item for us and makes it searchable. You might also remember that these guys do insane giveaways every month, much like this last Epoch rig that they're giving away soon to one lucky member. If you sign up, you can select a creator to rally behind. While you don't need to spend any money on the site, if you do, a portion of it will go towards supporting their channel. You can select mine by signing up with the link below. So join the Crimson Market today and come steal my gear. Like a bully, like this guy. Anyways, MrLlama had his whole community to help him get gear and get good. To make things worse, he turned this into a competition. I wasn't about to get embarrassed. Again, it was time to get to cracking on this Necro, so I was gonna need some gear. Luckily, we had another dirty trick to help us get started. Well, glad we enjoyed that one for the last time. Blizzard patched the infinite gold glitch halfway through the season, but this challenge was already over at that point, so early bird gets the worm. So between gambling for goods and gearing up in bales, we were off to a decent start. I even found an SOJ, which I might have needed at that time, but you don't keep something like that in the first couple days. Even though the early grind netted us some profit, I wasn't even close to being able to afford all the gear I needed. Llama was already teleporting at this point with his brand new Enigma. It was beginning to look like I was gonna fall behind. But we had a secret cast of characters behind the scenes, and I didn't even promise them any whoopie pies. Doombringer is one of the most famous Blizzsword players in PvP, but this season, he was playing as a wolf. Not one of those wolves, but instead a wolf of the in-game Wall Street. You see, he's the king of D2 arbitrage, taking advantage of price differences in various markets of the game. He surprised me by working out trades behind the scenes and collecting a ton of gear that I needed. So with that and some generous donations from No Audio, Scripted, Artura King, and Maddie, our Necro was coming along quite well. Even with all this, we still didn't have a perfect character, but that's alright. We had another dirty trick up our sleeves. Shiesty is a friend that we made on our grind last season, but this time I could actually contribute something for his help. I bought 8 Diablo 2 accounts and was ready to pack our games with 8 players at all times. In return, we would clear terror zones together and amass vicious experience along the way. When we both reached level 93, we did just that. I thought Shiesty would be the key to not only making the Necro great again, but to utterly shattering MrLlama's hopes and dreams of a top finish. We reached level 96, and for the first time in the challenge, I pulled ahead of Llama, albeit slightly. But it wasn't until we were all grinding at the exact same time that I started to notice something. Llama was streaming his grind, while Shiesty and I were privately jamming and slamming ours. Llama and I were exactly the same level, running exactly the same zone, but for some reason, he was catching up fast. This was confusing. Between Shiesty and I, we were clearing the zones faster than him, but you'd never be able to tell. It seemed like he was leveling at nearly twice my speed. It took me a while in the moment to figure it out, but here's the reason why. First, I was running 8 accounts to fill our games and give us max XP, but it takes time to load in each one of them, and automating the process is against Blizzard's TOS. So while it might have taken us between 1 and 2 minutes per run, it took about 30 seconds to load in all of my accounts, which adds 25 to 50% on top of the total time for the run. Llama's community could immediately fill his games when he created them, so this was something he didn't have to worry about, let alone waste time on. Secondly, your experience gained per monster is finite and gets split between all people in your party in the immediate area. This means that Llama was getting 100% of the experience in his terror zone, and I was getting 50% of it in mine, splitting it with Shiesty. Something had to change, or Llama was gonna pass me again. I thought about running Ondals and just tagging along behind Shiesty, but due to some more complicated calculations, that wasn't going to make up for much, and I was better off killing monsters and actually helping. Additionally, Ondals made me more prone to getting killed, which drops your experience by 10%, so that's not good. After thinking long and hard about what needed to be done, I had to make a tough decision. It was time to say goodbye to Shiesty. This felt really bad, because I'm sure he was looking forward to having 6 other filler accounts helping him level 2. It was something we'd talked about for a while in the off-season. It felt like I was letting him down, but like a true friend, he still found a way to be there for me. It was time for this Necro to go it alone, but my resistances were horrible. While this is a problem that makes most Necros squishy...
What? Why would it not? What was going on?
It's also one we practiced for. Even though we didn't have perfect gear, I knew how to turn this thing into an Abrams tank. It was time to take on the most violent terror zones solo. If you keep a critical mass of summons and stat your character for max block chance, this increases your survivability substantially, and it really doesn't come at the cost of any damage. This was my ultimate secret. As Llama ran the risk of dying in dangerous terror zones, my Necro was practically indestructible.
Hold on, save this thought. Oh my god!
Except that one time, Surely Serious activated the Say Something Nice to Me challenge and basically chat PK'd me. I was running off from 2 hours of sleep at that point, but this woke me up and probably started the crescendo of my degenerate journey. At that time, I was level 97, and right then and there, I made a pact. I was gonna live my entire life by the Terror Zone until I reached level 99. On D2 Emu, you can see one Terror Zone ahead in the future, but they're not all created equally. Some aren't really worth your time and don't generate a lot of experience per hour. So from now on, I was gonna keep an eye on which TZ was next, and when we got 2 bad ones in a row, I would immediately end the grind and sleep for just under 2 hours. I would set an alarm to wake up 5 minutes before the next one to see if it was worth doing. If it wasn't, I would sleep for 1 more hour. If it was back to the grind. While I was hoping there would be a string of at least 4 or 5 bad terror zones back to back at some point, there never was. So for days on end, this was my life. Finally, 8 days after the challenge had started, I did this.
There it is. Boom. 20 million experience and level 99. Just like that.
Okay, so apparently some people don't understand this little trick from the last challenge, so here's what I'm doing. I got my final piece of experience from the Nightmare Ancients quest. We can do this because we all played through on Classic. You can also do it if your character gets G-rushed. This quest awards 20 million experience regardless of your level, which saves you a few hours of time at level 98. It's also pretty symbolic to finish your grind at the top of Mount Ariat. This celebration was made famous by Teo1904, the first ever level 99 character in Season 1. But even after becoming a complete degenerate, someone still beat both Llama and I to the #1 Necro spot. And with a name like that, I get it. You can't come in second place. But I wasn't upset about that. It was never about racing any other Necro to the top. It was about beating at least 2 other classes to 99. And we did it. The fastest Necro, top 1, even beat the Amazons. This was an amazing season for the Necro, and certainly the most competitive one in the game's history. I was honored just to be at the top of the second page on a Necro. But something was bothering me. What were all these level 99s on my account even for anyway? I had degenerately grinded the ladder just to beat MrLlama SC, top player in Season 2 and Immortal King Diablo rapper himself. Some of you know I'd even practiced for months prior to that just to serve him some justice in the Bloodmoor live. And recently, I even started speedrunning the game. Maybe I'm going too far just to try to be better than Llama. Or maybe I haven't gone far enough.
Hey, Cooley? I don't think you should do what you're thinking about doing. You're gonna embarrass yourself.
It's hard to be embarrassed, Dunk, when you've got all of this.
I got accounts full of 99s, Llama trying to match that. Rolling in the gold, so Blizzard had to patch that. Ayy, what you know about it? What you know about it? Ayy, what you know about it? Oh, I know all about it. I do my victory dance, shit in pants, pull them up, then drop the hammer. Jam, slam, Alabama, I'm going ham. I'm MrLlama, the DJ King. People say, ladder race, better keep away. All alone in terror zones, I get in the zone, won't sleep for days. So check your place, this Necro be wrecking face. Second place, well I say Mosaic's gay, we ranking this race on the second page. I'm number 1, -5, treating that grind like a 9 to 5. 99 on the builder won't blind your eyes, 100 miles ahead of that Llama guy. In case you guys don't believe your eyes, I'm certified with that rubber stamp. Beef with me, you cease to be, I'm the PvP double champ. I'm locked in, the top 10, top verse on the beat, son. I could be done with the beef one, but I'd rather come after those speed runs. I got accounts full of 99s, Llama trying to match that. Rolling in the gold, so Blizzard had to patch that. Ayy, what you know about it? What you know about it? Ayy, what you know about it? Oh, I know all about it.
Hey! You can't patch this, it's an overlay! Blizzard!